the count. Because I really love to.
Welcome back to another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, and I come to you today from behind my usual newscast microphone. That is because I've just got back from holiday and I don't have time to do the news properly, so you'll have to deal with this and some slightly different to usual visuals, but it'll be back to normal when I next do it, which will be a day I ought to know because I do the schedule. It is in fact Friday will be my next one. Really ought to know that. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you must have heard of it by now, has in the last couple of days beaten the all-time record for concurrent players at once on Steam. Like, just completely got, not even just currently, just the all-time record has just gone. And to be honest, I didn't know whether it happened. I don't know if I thought it would happen, but it has, and it's quite impressive to say the least. Previous record was set by Dota 2 with a record of 1.295 million. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Twitter account boasted the stat of 1.342 million. And in fact, it's gone a little bit higher than that. According to Steam's official chart, its now all-time peak was 1,349,584 players at once playing this game. This game has just gone insane. I don't think anybody could have even predicted how mad this game has got, but it has. And if you just look at the charts, you'll see quite a gap in just like going down. It's pretty damn decisive in its numbers. So well done to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. There's another early access survival game out. This isn't news because another one. Don't care. But I do care because this has done an interesting thing. The game is called Die Young, and normally it would not be of any interest. However, they've decided to do a very strange thing to tackle piracy. They've basically made purchasing the game optional. Because of course, why not? The game is actually developed by a bundle site called Indie Gala, and they published. They have two titles on Steam. The early access survival horror game Die Young is one of those. It's been received fairly well, but developers believe piracy is enough of a problem to necessitate an unusual solution. I'm reading from an article. I'm going to stop doing it verbatim. Players who either can't or won't pay for the game, instead of having to go to a pirating site and get some sort of crack whatever for it, can literally just download the game directly, DRM free, from Indie Gala's website. The offer isn't permanent, and it will be a static release, so if you get it for free, you won't get any of the updates. But from now until the end of December, you have to sign up to the Indie Gala site in order to access version 0.437.18 of the game. That's the build currently available on Steam. 2 days old and only one patch out of date. However, by the end of December, that will be very out of date. But what this says to me is, like, that's a demo, but more than a demo. Like, this is one of the problems, I think, at the moment with games, is that demos aren't a thing anymore. They are with some games, but not a lot of games, and that is maybe one of the reasons people are pirating more, because they can't see the game, they can't experience the game before they make their choice. They can't try before they buy. And that may contribute to quite a lot of piracy. Doing something like this is a very interesting strategy around it. I'd really love to see some stats come the end of December to see whether it's worked and whether this has actually translated into sales later on down the line. Fortnite, we've talked about it on this channel a number of times. The little weird, it's a horde game, survival-y, buildy type thing. And now some more news has come around it, and this news involves crossplay. Now, crossplay is one of those things that is very contentious within the gaming industry, especially when Sony are concerned, because they frequently deny the ability for games to crossplay, and I don't like that tactic, to be honest. It's not a thing that I'm a fan of. However, in this case, you can crossplay between PC and PS4 on Fortnite, and now Xbox One users can also crossplay, sort of, I think. Yes, they can. The way they found this out was through gamer tags, because Xbox Live is the only one of the major networks that allows spaces in a gamer tag, and you can confirm through just sort of digging around that players aren't using a PC, and by doing that, Reddit users have come up with the fact that there is actually crossplay between PS4, Xbox One and PC, but they didn't say anything, they just quietly enabled it. And if it wasn't verification enough, one Xbox One player matched a game with his son on PS4. So this seems like a thing that is definitely a thing, and if it was an error on Sony's part, too bad, because they can't go back on it now, because if they did, they would lose quite a bit of their goodwill with the public. So yeah, this is a very positive thing. I hope if it's actually Sony just being maybe a little bit more lenient on crossplay, that we may see it in more games in the future, and I really, really hope so. And finally, if you liked Battleborn, you're not going to like this news. So Battleborn was a game that came out last year, and it was a game to rival Overwatch. A war which it obviously lost, as we all remember, and it's really not gone well for Battleborn. For some reason, it just died out of the gate, which is a shame, because from all intents and purposes that I'm aware of, it's a very good game, but it just couldn't match up to Overwatch. I remember, in fact, I went into a game store, the chain in Britain, around the time of launch, and they had Battleborn collectible cards in a box, and they were literally just giving them away to anybody who cared. They gave me basically a box of these because they couldn't get rid of them, which is a little bit telling. So after that botched launch and an attempt to go free to play, which sort of worked in a way, yeah, it's not worked. It's really not, and Gearbox have basically said they moved on. We could tell that they were going to move on a couple of weeks ago, really. The signs were there. Gearbox announced that they were looking towards a new game that they're going to announce in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, at least. They at least said that they're going on to a new game. And they have confirmed in this last day or two that Battleborn is no longer going to be supported. Servers will also apparently be up for the foreseeable future, which means that while the game is no longer going to be supported, it won't be receiving patches from the autumn, so no month specifically, but basically in the next month or two it'll stop being supported, and that'll be it. There'll be no more updates, but the servers are going to stay up for now, and at least for the next year or two, if you want to play Battleborn, you can play it, but don't expect it to have any more patches anytime soon. So that's it for this episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, a subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, as well as a link to our Discord, where we have a nice little public chat room, some lovely banter, and you can get to know some of us a little bit better. If you liked me, I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/metalnerddude, and you can follow me on Twitter at @SnowyDuffield. All that leaves me to say is, again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon for some more news.